Yes, guys. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. Yes, guys. The most important thing in our garden is our soil. Whatever we put in our soil is what our plants draws up. Whatever we put in our soil is what our plants draws up in its through its root and also you'll be surprised sometimes how the plants absorb through their leaf and through their body. So sometimes you might be spraying your plants and tell yourself you just spraying the leaf or you just spraying the body. Well, sometimes that plant draws, it absorbs what you spraying. So this is why I don't believe in spraying anything on my plant. I'm not saying that nobody shouldn't, because that's everyone's decision. But I don't believe in spraying anything on my plant. The only thing I might spray, I used to spray, is vinegar on cabbage. Because cabbage, cauliflower and broccoli, you know how them worms love to eat them. You know how the worm love to eat the cabbage out, eat them out. And you could have a whole crop of cabbage and you could come back in 2 days, and when you come back, all your cabbage eat down to the ground. So because of that, I remember my grandmother used to use vinegar mixed with water. I could never forget. She used to use a gallon of white vinegar, no, a gallon of water and 2 cups of white vinegar. And she used to shake it and then she used to spray it on her cabbage, because this really helps. I'm telling you, it really helps. It really helps. I've seen it with my own eyes already. It helps. It even helped a garden of mine one point. The cabbage worm was eating down all my cabbage. It was really bad. And I remember when my and then I did it some of my cabbage. So it really it works, but you cannot mix it too strong, because if you mix it too strong, it's gonna burn down your cabbage and you don't want to do that. So my dosage that I saw my grandmother used to use is 2 cups of water of vinegar, 2 cups of vinegar to a gallon of water. I'm not talking about the coffee cup. I'm talking about the measuring cup. All right? Because you don't want to burn down your cabbage, and the vinegar is strong enough, you know, you have that inside, it could burn it down. But a good thing to have in your garden, guys, is boards. Boards is a natural form of cleaning a garden. When I say clean a garden, what I mean, getting in around them. Because guess what? These same boards is what gonna be eating the worms them. These same boards, remember, boards hatch. They hatch out in the spring. So in the spring is the time when the boards need the worms to feed their young one. So the board's gonna be in your garden. The board's gonna be in your garden, and they're gonna be picking out all them worms, the horn worms, all them worms. The birds them gonna be taken out and feed their young one. So don't chase the birds them away. The birds is beautiful in our garden. We also have other bugs in our garden that's actually chase away unwanted bugs. We have a lot of bugs. Hey, welcome in everyone. Hey, Janet, how you doing? I'm taking no. All right, definitely. Yes. The regular vinegar, yes. That works like, but that's, I will only use it if the worms in them cabbage. That will save your cabbage them. And that's a fact right there. That's a fact. They will save your cabbage. So we also have a lot of beneficial insect in our garden that most of the time people spread them out, get rid of them. But one thing that we don't understand, some of these bugs push away unwanted bugs out of our garden. Like for instance, you might have bugs just eating up your tomatoes, eating up everything you have. And when you realize, no, I can't allow this. And it bothered you. But then sometimes, like the ladybugs, you see the ladybugs? Ladybugs they might help eat up some of your leaf, but I think it's a good bug to have in your garden. This is from my experience, guys. I cannot speak for others. From my experience, I think ladybug is something you should not run out of your garden. If you see lady garden, I think you should thank them. Thank them for their present. Because ladybug help sort out our garden. Run away. There's some bugs that will come in your garden and just eat down your plants. There's a lot of bugs will come and eat out the flowers. You know the flowers that your plants, you produce in your flowers, and you waiting for these flowers to get pollinated. And then you see the bugs and you tell yourself, all right, I'm seeing bugs. So these plants gonna get pollinated. The next time you look, the bugs eat down all your flowers. I never knew about worms till I harvest some vine. Yes, I fell for a tree. It was destroying my. Yes, you have some I think it's hornworms. Man, they will eat down your whole plant in a day. I don't know where the food going, but what I know, they will eat down your plant in one day. And you know what I noticed too? They also eat pepper. This is what I did a video, guys. I did a video where I never saw this in my history of gardening. I never saw these worms eat a hot pepper skin. These worms was actually eating the skin from around the hot pepper and leave the seed. I just couldn't understand it. But this is where we at now, guys. I don't know, but this is where we at when come on these type of insect that hinder in our garden today. But what we got to, there's another one. What you call that one? I don't know. Yes, it will. It will. There was another bug I saw 2 years ago, and I saw a few of them this year. It have a skin. It have man that jacket it have on is unique. It look like it well designed. I don't know where you call them, but listen to me. They was on my mango tree. My mango tree was producing a lot of flowers. And I was really happy because I'm saying, wow, wow, look the amount of these bugs. Yes, they're gonna pollinate the plant. I guess so, right? They was well, whatever made them was well designed. But yes, I saw them on my mango tree. Yeah, man, the mango tree was almost full. And I say, how can I'm so happy because I'm telling myself, okay, yes, yes, my mango tree gonna get pollinated, so I'm excited. When I look, this thing was actually, instead of pollinating my mango tree, they was actually eating off all the flowers. They eat off all the flowers, guys. And I'm telling myself they're gonna pollinate. I could have take them off. I could have run them. But the thing was, I thought they was going and pollinate. So you gotta be careful, guys. Be careful, watch them. Once you see a certain bug in your garden and there's plenty on one plant, watch them. Because these same bugs might eat off the flowers that's supposed to, that you think is, oh, the pollinators. No, they come to destroy. So you have to be careful, guys, with these bugs on your trees because they can eat off all your flowers off the trees and then you cannot get any fruit of whatever you could get from the plant. So be mindful of that, guys. Be mindful. But yes, our soil is the essence of gardening. And if we believe in gardening and we believe in growing our own food, please don't underestimate your soil in your backyard, okay? Sometimes we underestimate our soil in our backyard and we go and do all different type of things, add all different type of things, and instead of we help the soil, we actually messing up the soil. So be mindful of that, guys. And guys, we all know the garden season is coming to an end because the fall is here. And if you're living in a zone where you don't have to deal with that freezing weather, take some time out and start working on your compost. Take some time out, start working on whether you're making compost here or what. Take some time out. You ain't got to have acres of yard. You could have a 5-gallon bucket. You could have a 5-gallon bucket with a lid and create your own liquid compost tea. All you got to do, you put the compost, whatever you put in inside of it, and then you add some water right over it, cover it, and leave it to break down. One thing I could tell you, it smells really bad, but it helps your garden very well. Okay. Freeze winter. No, it will survive. It will survive. If you put it in a container, you could put maybe some dry leaf and stuff around. But it will survive. Grapes come back every year. Watching your video. All right. It is oh, it's in the ground. All right. It's gonna come back. Yes. The compost really smells bad, but it really works. It really works. It really works. But if you live in close to a neighbor, or you live in, if you really live in close to a neighbor, I don't recommend using it because that neighbor will be complaining. I'm telling you. But that scent, it's really bad. That neighbor will be complaining about that scent. So be mindful of that, guys. But focus on your soil, guys. And it's not too early to do that. Don't wait until the spring because the spring is going to be a little too late. And remember your plants. Just let me talk about container garden for a minute now. Let's talk about container garden because it's important. And the same requirements that's in the ground is the same requirements in the container. Because let's put it this way. When you're growing in containers, remember the plants. Remember the plant draws the nutrients as well. Just like how it draws it out of the soil in the ground. It's same thing it do in the container. It draws it out of the container. Maintaining the soil in the container, you understand what's going to be happening. If you don't maintain the soil in the container, you should understand what will be happening. What will be happening, it's going to get weaker. Because the year before, the plant draws out the nutrients. The plant draws out the minerals. So if you don't find a way how to replace that, then you see what's going to be happening. Now the soil in the container going to get weaker and weaker. So you have to maintain. A way that I maintain my container, guys, is taking the weeds them out of the ground and put them in my container, like the top of the container. And then what I'll do, I'll add some soil and cover it. All right? And leave that. Another way is making liquid composting. Liquid composting is another way of maintaining container garden. Because the liquid composting gonna add the nutrients back. The nutrients that's in the liquid composting, if you add it to the container, it's gonna add maintaining it. So you could also add the weeds that grows up in your garden, and you also could add liquid compost. So that gonna maintain your container in a natural form, guys. Guys, my way of gardening is natural gardening. So I only could speak for in natural garden, not anything different out of natural. All right, so what I'm saying, it's about natural garden, and very important to stay focused, because if you ain't stay focused, you could end up getting distracted from others. Because if your motive is, hey fast buck, how you doing? Good evening. Hey, what's up? Naya? Yes. If is to grow a natural garden, don't let no one distract you from. Meaning that got to be your focus. There's a lot of people state that they want to grow their food natural because they don't want to go to the store and buy that food. They want to grow theirs. But somewhere down the line, they find themselves growing their food the same way. The same way you saying that you don't want that food, you end up growing your food the same way. It don't make sense. So, number one, you cannot watch the commercial farmers. Commercial farmers have to grow food for millions of people. Millions of people. So they do what they got to do because it's not easy to grow food to feed millions of people. So they do what they got to do. And I'm not knocking them. They do what they got to do to make it happen. Everybody got to do what they got to do to make it happen. But if you doing it on that level where you feel like, you know what, man, I want to grow my food, you got to focus on growing natural. You got to focus on growing them natural, meaning using natural things. So growing commercial is different than you growing in your backyard. Growing commercial, these people got to feed millions of people. So that's how I look at it. But at the end of the day, guys, everyone is free to grow their food how they desire. Everyone grow your food how you desire. I cannot tell you how to grow your food. I could only share how I grow my food. And Janet Marie say, do you think starting seed inside is better? Well, that depends on where you are. That depending on where you are. If you got to deal with the winter, yes, it's best. If you're in the tropical, then you could do it from outdoors. But once you're dealing with the cold weather, it's best to do it from indoors. Why? It's best to do it from indoors because the growing season. If you wait till April to come outside and set pepper seed and these type of seed, you're not going to be successful. You might lucky to get a harvest, but it's not going to be much. You see what I'm saying? But if you start them from indoors, which can be very challenging, you need to start them from indoors. Okay, you say, Jeanette say, I'm in Chicago, close to Chicago, no? All right, so starting them from indoors is the best thing you can do. Yes, starting them from indoors is the best thing you can do. Sometimes, some people use grow light because you surely need, and you need a warm place. You need a warm place to keep them. So a lot of people start with grow light. All right? So if you could invest in a grow light, or if you have like for instance, the truth is, a lot of people talk about grow lights, but I also see where shop light, you know them shop light, where does have in your garage, I also see them lights work as well. All right? Because your main focus is growing, keeping them alive indoors. That's your main focus. You're not going to get them to grow and produce indoors. But your main focus is keeping them going until the spring. Because when the spring come out, that's when you bringing them out. And that's when they're going to start growing and start doing what they got to do. But they're not all you're doing inside is trying to keep them alive, keep them growing. All right, so indoors, in your zone, is the best thing to do. In the tropical, you could leave them, you could start them outdoors. Why? Because you don't have to deal with the cold weather. All right? My basement hold heat in winter. Okay, well you good. Well, all you need once you have a light, because they're gonna need a little light, some air, and you could have trust me, you have the right temperature for them to survive. They will survive under the temperature. That's 70 degrees is more than good enough. What you don't want they go to is 29 degrees, 28 degrees, 25 degrees. Them type of degrees you don't want your seedling to go to, because you're going to lose them. Yeah, you show this garden season, but now is the time to prepare our mind. Now is the time to get ourselves intact and ready for the next garden season, because, guys, I'm telling you, it's not getting easier. And the way that I explain and the way how I grow my garden is a way to anybody could grow their garden, because we not sending you out there to go and spend money expensive containers or expensive product to grow on your soil. We actually helping you to use what you have, and also show you that it's possible. Also show you that it's possible. Time is getting harder, guys. Everything is getting more expensive. I remember a few years ago when you could have get things for so cheap. And when you go to there and you hear the price, you say, my goodness. Then the price double, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So we got to figure out, how are we going to eliminate these spending? If I'm doing a garden, I got to figure out how not to spend $1. And believe it or not, guys, last year, I spent $10 in my garden. $10, and it was to buy 2 plants. I buy that I really wanted to plant, to grow, and the season had already gone too far for me to start them from seed. So I buy the 2 plants, $10 from a guy. I grew a whole garden last year, harvest so much food, and only spend $10. This year, I did not spend $1 in my garden. You understand? This year, I did not spend $1 in my garden. So it's possible. And that is what we're trying to teach and encourage people. There's a lot of distraction out there that, man, you could catch yourself spending hundreds of dollars in a garden, and when harvest time, you're not seeing. It's like you spend more than you gain. But I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. I'm just here to let you know there's ways to save $1. And in this time, I'm sure everyone is trying to figure out how to save $1 these days. And garden could be very expensive, especially if if you ain't starting from seed. It can be pretty expensive, guys. If you're doing a garden and you're not starting from seed, it could be pretty expensive. Do you guys see? Yes, okay. Piogo say, yes, I'm about to start seed soon and get ahead. Start with horse. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right, man. You got to get it going, man, because you want, this is the thing. You remember, guys, these plants, a lot of these plants can produce a lot during the season. And the longer the season is, the more you could get from them. So this is why, if you want to start from seed, it's best to do it indoors. Start early indoors. Do not wait till outside. Like for instance, if you want to start peppers, right? You could start peppers at least 2.5 weeks before the planting day. So 2.5 weeks. No, not 2.5 weeks. 6 weeks. At least 6 weeks. Not 2.5 weeks. At least 6 weeks. Sorry for that. 6 to 2 months. 6 weeks to 2 months, you start your peppers them indoors. By the time, because pepper takes some time, it depends on the temperature and the water. Pepper takes some time. Sometimes pepper take 6 days. Sometimes they take 2 weeks. So it depends on the condition. So you want to make sure you plant these pepper indoors, start the seed indoors at least, I say 6 weeks to 2 months before you're ready to plant them. 6 weeks to 2 months before you're ready to plant them. So by the time you're ready to plant them, and then when you're ready to plant them, you got to bring them out in a shaded area. So when you see the spring start coming out and the sun start to, shine, what you do, you bring them out and you put them in a shaded area. Why you putting them in a shaded area? Because you want them to you harden off. They call it harden off. Mean, what is harden off? What is harden off plants? Harden off plants is bringing them out and allowing them to get the sunlight. Remember, they indoors and they wasn't getting that heat, right? So when you bring them out now, you don't want to put them in the direct sun because the sun will scorch their leaf. The sun will scorch them up. So you don't want to put them in the direct sun. You want to put them in a shaded area for like at least 30 to 40 minutes. Take them back indoors. Bring them out the next day. So you're giving them at least 30 to 40 minutes of shaded sun. Not direct sun, guys. Shaded sun. So this is how, yes, this is how you harden them off. So by the time you do that for like a week or so, 2 weeks, week and a half, you're ready to transplant now. So when you transplant them into the hole, when the sun starts shining on them, it's not going to do them anything because you already hardened their leaf. Remember, their leaf is tender. Their leaf don't use to the sun. So it's very important to bring them out, put them in a shaded area, and that they could harden their leaf. If you don't do that, and trust me, if you don't believe me, try it for your own self. If you don't believe me, try it for yourself. And I guarantee you, you're gonna see exactly what I'm saying. All right, Jean say, that's where I mess up in spring. I put them in direct sun and left them outside till evening, then brought them. Right. You see, this is how information is really good for these information. And the truth is, this is why I take the time out to spread these information, because there's valuable information, guys. You see what Jean now say? She bring them out in the spring, leave them all day, bring them back in the evening. No, that's too long. You got to put them in a shaded area, not in the sun, for at least half an hour to 45 minutes. And you take them back inside. Don't leave them outside. You understand? them off and you plant them. Do you plant them? When you plant them in that beautiful soil that already prepared and ready, when you plant them, that's it. They're taking off. They're heading for that place to start producing. One thing I'll also say, guys, don't fight that frost is the frost pass. You see cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, collard greens. These plants thrive. They love cold. When you talk about okra, when you talk about peppers, eggplant, these type of plants, please do not bring them out before the frost. Because even though they have them out this in the cold. So you wait, make sure you wait till the frost pass. All right, okay. You're welcome, Janet, you welcome. Make sure you allow that frost to pass. You know, my peppers them, I bring out my peppers them this season, this year, before the frost. I bring them out before the frost. And the truth is the frost didn't do them anything. But guess what? The weather was so cold every morning that there barely, there wasn't growing. There was just there. But looking green and healthy. But they wasn't growing the way I expect them to. And as soon as the frost gone, man, they take off. So sometimes wait till the frost when you're dealing with peppers and eggplant and them things. Wait until the frost pass. So you wouldn't able have to go through that struggling process. And you know, some people want to plant, and this is why it's important to have a healthy, rich soil. Because remember, if your soil is not rich, your plants not gonna grow as fast as you expect them to, right? They're gonna grow, but not as fast as you expect them to. So, say for instance, you bring out your plants early, and every day the cold weather still hitting them and they're struggling. Sometimes these plants never recover. I'm telling you, and it goes to your soil. They never recover, and they're gonna grow, but they're not gonna grow that much. But if your soil is really rich and nice, even though they struggle, when the cold weather stops, they're gonna jump up, because the soil, they was just waiting for the weather to change. They was just waiting for that sunlight for them to take off. The soil is rich with nutrients, minerals, all these things, but they was just waiting on the sunlight. But now, if your soil is not, have rich with nutrients and these beneficial substances the plant need, and it struggle, some of them never recover. I'm telling you. So pay attention to that, guys. Wait till the frost pass. Or make sure your soil is rich. So like for me, my pepper them was struggling during the cold season. But guess what? As soon as the fall season start, and my pepper them start shooting up, are still able to grow 9 feet pepper tree, 9 feet tall pepper tree. They were struggling in the early part. So the soil is important. The soil is very important, guys. All right? Janetta say, what? The previous owner used to grow grapes and make wine. She property has very rich soil. Grow I mess up my first garden. Your information I think will be successful next season. Definitely follow the guide I'm giving. I have a lot of videos you could check out from time to time. I'm telling you, it will help you to grow a successful garden without you have to spend in an arm and a leg to get a garden, and still when the garden see you still don't feel the harvest you receive. You should have you feel like you should have get more. My way, the way I garden, guys, every year my garden is so cool. Pogo say amendment for the soil is key. Definitely. That's where the plants feed. So that's how important it is. That's where that's where the main root is pushing itself, searching for nutrients, searching for mineral. It's important. Very important. That's amazing. 9 feet. I'm very excited for spring to come. Yes, yes, and you know what is great? What is great? I show people live how tall these pepper trees. You know what I'm saying? I did measurement live. Because I want people to see, man, this is real. What I'm saying is real. The information I'm giving is real. Where do you see a 9 feet pepper tree? Where do you see a 10 feet tall pepper tree that you have to climb a ladder to go up to pick pepper from it? All right, so the information is real, man. Okay, well, a good way. All right, Pure say amen in your soil and making compost, making your own compost, adding compost to your soil, which is help taking out them weeds out of your garden and mix them back in your soil. All these are good ways. Using the compost, the weeds you pull out garden, use them back, make compost tea. You understand? Mixing the soil with the weeds, all the leaf from your plants, them, use them back in your compost, blend them back in your soil. These are good ways. All the leaf that fall from trees, take some and throw them in your garden and cover them with soil. That's ways of mending your soil. And if you continue doing that, whether you're growing in container or in ground, if you continue doing that, I'm telling you, you will be grateful. Yes, you will be grateful. Um, see any pepper tree that big around here, I didn't even get. Oh wow! Well, you at the right place, and we guide you to be successful growing peppers. All right, we're gonna help you to get to that place where you're growing bell pepper successfully because we show how to plant them. We have tons of videos how to plant bell pepper. tons of videos, how to plant them, how deep to this, the whole of this fall into the winter. We're gonna do a lot where we're gonna be talking about soil, seeds, seeds indoors. We have a lot of information coming. So if you guys are interested, you guys don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell because we have a lot of information coming about gardening, other information coming about DIY projects. So please don't hesitate. So do you turn your compost over? The honest truth is, Pure Grow, no, I don't. I just leave it right there. And this is why I always try to add a little soil to cover it and kind of, kind of protect it. I'm not going in there until maybe next spring. Next spring, I might go in. And sometimes the thing is, I have so much compost pile. Believe it, I have a lot of compost pile. So sometimes I might do it and then I might touch that one. I might go into a next one. You understand that I have there for some years going by. So, I don't turn them and everything just walk for itself. Just leave, these earthworms and them will find their way. And guess what? It keep going lower and lower. You could have a pile of compost there. 6 feet, yeah, get lower, lower, lower. The next thing you see it like it flat on the ground. So I don't do it. I'm sure there's people that do it, but I really don't. I don't just leave it right there. Yes. You welcome, Janet. Yeah, I'll just leave it right there and just allow it to blend. But if you got, all right, put it this way. Yes, me personally, I have so much piles that I go in the older piles for compost. You know what I'm saying? But when you add a lick of soil on them, I really think they break down faster. I really think they break down faster. When you're dealing with the winter, right? We all know when you're dealing with the winter, it frees stuff. And when it frees it up, especially for the people in the deep cold, when it frees it up, yes, what happen? It can, it's just there. But if you have a little warmness inside the compost, it basically, the process is happening. It's breaking down because these worms and beneficial parasite underneath it doing their thing. So maybe you could turn it, but I don't turn it. Even my compost tea, through the winter, I don't turn them. I don't just leave it and then the spring, I just go and give it a little turn to see how things going, depending on what I have inside of it. Like cabbage leaf. Cabbage leaf, you could use cabbage leaf after 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months. Because cabbage leaf, if you press cabbage leaf too hard, it start breaking down. You start seeing the substance coming out of it. You know what I mean? So if it's in water for 2 months, 3 months, it's surely gonna be good as a compost. I seen this, guys. I'm telling you right now, cabbage leaf and water. It's a good combination for compost. Cabbage leaf and water, guys. It's a beautiful combination for composting. Oh man, it's beautiful. And you feed your plant with that. Like I said, guys, the scent might be a little off, but the reward is great. Because what I've noticed about cabbage leaf, I've noticed that it I think it's loaded with nutrients. I really do. I think cabbage leaf is loaded with nutrients. Because I'm gonna tell you this, guys. Nutrients is what help a plant to grow and produce leaf, a lot leaf. Grow and produce leaf. Nutrients. If your soil is rich in nutrients, your plants them gonna grow lovely. You understand? Nutrient. And for what I seen with cabbage leaf does to plants, it's amazing. This is my first year I grow an eggplant 7 feet tall. I never grew eggplant that tall before. This year I grow eggplant 7 feet tall, man. And the good thing about it, they produce like wildfire. Them thing is still producing unto today. So they're simple remedies, guys, and we have a lot more to share. We have a lot more remedy to share. So, guys, join us on our live. We're gonna be doing live regularly, just talking about gardening, just giving the information. All right. So thank you guys again for another beautiful day, man. It's always a pleasure coming out and having these conversations, talking about growing natural food. It's always a pleasure. So I just want to say thank you all for taking the time out. And you're not going to regret it because great success in your garden. You guys have fun for joining the live tonight. I truly appreciate you